Hello everybody, welcome back to my 320 Sim and welcome to a slightly different video to what we usually upload on the channel. Today we're going to be actually looking at WinWing's new Airbus MCDU panel. That's what I've got in the box here. I have been using it for a few months now, so just a disclaimer on that. I've got two of these units. They were both in the home cockpit. I have actually taken it out, one of them out, and repackaged it up to do this video. But I just wanted to share my thoughts on it and show it off to you all today. If you can subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome. So without further ado, let's jump in. Okay, so getting started then. When the package arrived, it was in one of those plastic wrapper bags with the shipping label on the front. Obviously that's gone and you're left with the box. Got WinWing Sim written on the front. Just a plain grey brown cardboard box. But if we open it up, see we've got multiple layers of foam. MCDU 3.2, presumably for the 320. If I take it out, we've got this box of white foam. Let me try and remember which way around it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be this way around. So let's take off the top layer of foam. And you see we've got some stuff to look at. So the item came with a USB to USB-C cable. It's a nice long cable. You also get a little screwdriver as well, which I presume is for attaching these, which I assume to be the stands. Get a bag of screws and goodness knows what else is in there, but yeah, screws. There's Allen key and a couple more tools in there. This, which I don't understand what that is, reading it, I presume that's the quality control certificate, but I'm not really sure. And you get these. They're actually quite heavy for what they are. I think they're supposed to be little pads to stop it scratching any worktops, and I presume that they're sticky in the rear and you stick them to the stands. Yeah. And then we've got the plastic stands as well. They are hollow, but they feel quite sturdy. There's no chance that that's going to break, I don't think. You've got one, and you got the second one. And then let's remove this, and we've got the MCDU itself. So it's wrapped in a clear plastic bag. There's nothing underneath that, it's just foam. As I say, this has already been opened, so if it's a case that it's not exactly wrapped how it would be from WinWing, my apologies for that. But I've tried to get it as close as it was to when I received the item. And here is said item, the A320 MCDU. It's a fantastic unit. It's actually very thin. That's the profile of it. And when you think that the screen is actually recessed in there, that really it's very thin behind the screen. But it feels sturdy. It's a hard plastic. On the back here we've got the two connection ports, USB-C by the looks of it. You've got one for USB and one for power only. You've got embossed WinWing Sim on the back. Yeah, it's a very nice feeling unit. You've got the buttons are all laid out as they are on the actual Airbus A320. I'm not sure about the 330, I don't fly that, but on the 319, 320, 321 the buttons are all like this. They are slightly softer feeling. I don't know if you can hear that. So you do get the tactile feel with it, but they are softer than on the real aircraft. But that said, you do know that you pushed it, you get the nice click, you get a good feedback from the buttons. So first impressions, it's a very nice unit. Now the WinWing A320 MCDU can be used with its own SimAppPro software from WinWing, and that is for FS 2020 and I believe FS 2024 as well, and it works with the fly-by-wire A32NX in FS 2020, and it works with the Phoenix aircraft in FS 2020 and FS 2024. At least that's what I've tried. There is a compatibility table which is available from WinWing Sim. I'll pop that on the video now. So you can see that there's a few aircraft that this unit is actually compatible with. Anyway, I'm sure you're all as eager as I am to get this thing up and running, so let's plug it in and light it up. Alrighty, so we're loaded into Flight Simulator 2020. I've got the WinWing MCDU up here on its display stand, and we're going to get it up and running. Now I'm using the fly-by-wire A32NX. I'm just launching SimAppPro. Now the SimAppPro software is free from WinWing, and it allows their hardware to interface with Flight Simulator. So what WinWing's software does is it goes through an initialization phase, and that will get the MCDU up and running. You see we've got all of this green stuff in the background. Green means good, and we're hoping that it will sync up with the sim. It should do, as I said earlier, it is compatible with the fly-by-wire A32NX. I'm going to minimize SimAppPro, and I'm going to put some power into the A320. So put the batteries on first, and then the ground power. And you see the MCDU springs to life, which is excellent. Now to get the backlighting going, I'm going to increase integrated light on the pedestal. You might just about be able to see that the unit is now backlit. That synchronizes up with the simulator. And if on the overhead panel I do the annunciator lights test, you see all the annunciators light up on the panel as well. Now the panel works really nicely, so you can select FMGC. It will take you through to the respective pages. If I put, for example, 1, 2, 3 in the call sign box, and then you can populate it with whatever you like. It all works very nicely, and it looks pretty much the same as it does on the real thing. Of course, you've got all the other functions that you can access as well. Now there is a dim and bright button, so if you press the dim, of course it dims the screen, and if you do the bright, it should brighten the screen. There we go. You can actually have the screen brightness controlled from these two white dots at the top. Now it's easy enough to set that up. So we go into the panel on the WinWing software, and then you can't quite see it unless I move the MCDU to the side. But we've got these options. So the top one says backlight, the middle one says screen backlight, and the bottom one says marker backlight. I'm going to click the little button to the right of screen backlight, which is settings. It opens up a window, and then you can bind it to the axis. So if I bind it to the axis, you'll see it comes up with WinWing MCDU 32 Captain. and I want to set it to the RX axis. So now what that means is that the screen is now taking in the ambient light and adjusting itself accordingly. If I cover over if I cover over the light sensor, it's getting dimmer. If I remove it, it should start to brighten again. It's very subtle. The only thing I wish with that is that there was a configuration so you can sort of say how dim or how bright it goes. But you never know, maybe WinWing will add that one day in the future. Either way, it's a really cool feature to have. Personally, I like to synchronize it with the game. But the user interface on SimAppPro makes it very easy to do everything. So here we go with a nice close-up of the MCDU screen. And again, you can see all of the options. The text is very clear. The colours are nice and vibrant. So it's really, really well displayed. And of course you have all the options as per the fly-by-wire. This does read directly from the software from what I can gather, so in terms of what will actually come up on the screen, it's what would be coming up on the screen actually in the simulator, which is very good. So the WinWing A320 MCDU is available from the WinWing website. There's a number of places that you can order it from on their website. So I purchased this one through the global shipping channel. I did the order when it first came out, I believe that was the 17th of January now, so a little while ago. It took about a week to come, and there was tracking and everything was great. I didn't have to pay any additional import charges, so I don't know, your mileage might vary with that. And of course you can see you got paying through with PayPal options if that's something that you might want to consider. If you are in the UK, for example, then you can order this from the UK regional site. It will have no import duty or anything on that, as it's going to already be shipped from a in-stock warehouse in the UK. And you can see the price on the website, £133.85 at the time of making this video. And at the time of making this video, it's not readily in stock in the UK. It's available for pre-order and expected to come into stock on the 19th of May. So my recommendation is, if you want to get hold of one on the 19th of May, set a reminder on your phone or your calendar, and regularly check the website on the 19th of May, as it does update at some point during the day saying in stock. At least that's how I found it with the WinWing FCU. Had to keep refreshing the page on the day that it was due to come in stock, and eventually it did come in stock, and you can then add it to the cart and place your order. So overall, my thoughts on this unit are very good. I hope that this video has been useful. If you'd like to know more information about it, then do visit the WinWing webpage. I'll link it down in the notes below. If you've got questions for me, then of course leave them in the comments down below. I'll do my best to answer. For now, what I'm going to do is get this installed back in the home cockpit. I'll give you a quick view of it running in the home cockpit. And I'll also show one other final cool feature that this MCDU offers, and that is integration with Mobiflight. Alrighty, so welcome to the home cockpit. You can see we've got both MCDUs are installed at the top of the pedestal. We've got the right hand side set up as the first officer side from SimAppPro, and the left side set up as the captain side in SimAppPro. What I've then done is interface them through Mobiflight. So Mobiflight being a free software that allows you to interface hardware with Flight Simulator. Those of you who've been following the channel for a little while, you might know that my entire cockpit build is based off of Mobiflight. So the fact that I can use the WinWing MCDUs through the same software, keeping everything all in one place, is awesome. What it means is that my computer doesn't have to then run SimAppPro as well as Mobiflight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on the aircraft the same way that we did in the fly-by-wire. This time we're in the Phoenix A319. I'm going to turn both batteries on and the ground power, and you'll see the MCDUs start to spring to life. So you might be wondering, how do you get the screen working with Mobiflight? Well, in the latest version of Mobiflight, the latest beta version I should add, there is a Python script included. So all you've got to do is install Python on your computer, and when you launch Mobiflight, it'll allow the screen to work and feed the data from the sim as well. There is a really good free script or configuration file, whatever you want to call it, on flightsim.to, which allows the MCDU to interface through Mobiflight, and it also includes all the configuration to get it working with the screen and what have you. I don't know the ins and outs, but if you're interested in running this through Mobiflight, definitely go and check it out. Now, I had to go through a few hoops to get it working with the fly-by-wire in FS 2024, but it does now work, which is fantastic. But anyway, let's have a quick flick through some of the pages on here so you can see that they're working independently. So this one, you can set different pages on each MCDU, like so. So in theory, you could have your cockpit set up with both captain side and first officer side running independent MCDUs. And the way that these are set up means that it actually corresponds to how it does in the sim. So this one is actually controlling the right MCDU on the Phoenix aircraft, and this one is controlling the left MCDU on the Phoenix, which is brilliant. It means it's mirroring the Phoenix software. So again, you've got all of your functions, everything works just as it does in the Phoenix A320. Again, with the annunciator test, you can tell all the lights are working, similar to how it does in SimAppPro. And then I've also set through Mobiflight the two blank buttons here and here to control the backlighting, so you can see we can actually increase the backlighting and we can decrease it. And what that allows is for the dim and bright buttons to just control the brightness of the screen the same way it does in the real aircraft. So I just find with Mobiflight there's a lot more flexibility in getting it working. So definitely check that out if you're interested in running your cockpit through Mobiflight and want to include WinWing hardware with that. Anyway, that's about it from me, so I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I highly recommend these units. When they become available, definitely try and pick one up if you're interested even remotely in flying the Airbus in Flight Simulator. Having a physical MCDU makes things so much easier and so much more immersive. Definitely check them out. If you've got questions, leave them down below. If you can, subscribe to the channel, that would be awesome as well. And I'll catch you all on the next one. Bye bye.